Hey, good morning, friends. This is Trish with a dish today, and today we are going to make some biscuits. You know, I've got a cousin that just loves to watch cooking videos, and this is for her. Her name's Shirley. She knows who she is. She's a great friend and cousin. I've loved her all my whole life. We went to school together. In fact, I'm just getting a message from her right now on my cell phone as I'm doing this. But anyway, we're going to make some biscuits right now. Now, I don't usually use a recipe, but I know you folks at home want to know how much of this, that, and the other. So, I'm starting out with 1 1/3 cups of flour. I keep a 1/3 measure in my flour thing all the time, so that's just 4 little cups. Now, we're going to do our 1 1/3 cups of flour, and then in that, we're going to put 2 teaspoons of baking powder, not baking soda, but baking powder. And then we're going to do a teaspoon of salt. And I just use my shaker here, and then just for you folks, I'm going to see if that's a teaspoon. And I would call that a scant teaspoon. So I'm going to put another sprinkle in. Okay, now I take a whisk at this point because I want that baking powder and salt and flour to be mixed up all really good. And because I put the baking powder in, that tells y'all that it is plain flour. Now, you don't have to use plain flour. You can use self-rising. Of course, the self-rising has the salt and the leavening in it, and the plain doesn't. I just like to keep plain flour because I don't like for my flour to get old. So if I keep plain flour, I can use that for everything, and I don't have to worry about how long have I had this, how long have I had that. So anyway, we're starting out. I've mixed that up, and I've made me a little bowl in there with it. Now, I've got to get a little dish over here because I'm going to put 1/3 cup of butter in my biscuits. So this right here is 1/4 cup. I buy this butter. Unsalted butter is what I usually use. I like to add my own salt to stuff, and that keeps me straight. If I'm using salted butter, then I've got to remember every recipe I read. If it calls for salt, I need to leave the salt out. So I use unsalted. Now, I have cut this butter up into 4 chunks. That's 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to cut another little piece off this one. And that'll give me 1/3 cup. And I'm going to stick it up here in this microwave. And soften and melt. And I'm going to melt that butter to use in here. Now, we're using buttermilk. I'm using whole buttermilk. I don't go with that low-fat stuff. I figure if you're going to eat a biscuit, don't worry about the calories. Now, we're going to fill this cup up. And I'm going to start off with 1 cup of buttermilk. So I'm going to pour a little bit of buttermilk right in my little indentation I've made here in my flour, and I'm going to start stirring it around a little bit. Here's my butter. It's probably not quite ready. So I'm going to do it just another few seconds here. Microwaves are the most convenient thing for some things. I don't want no bacon in microwave. I don't want no just anything in a microwave. But now I'm pouring this butter in here and gently stirring. Now I'm going to add a little more buttermilk. Now, the thing about biscuits is, so many people think biscuits are such a big deal and so hard to make. Well, you know what? You can make them as simple or as difficult as you want to make them. I make them the easy way. Now, my mama made them by putting her fingers down in the flour and stirring around, and then she'd roll them out and never wash her hands till she was through with her biscuits. I don't do that. I use a spoon and I stir it all around till I get everything just a big gooey mess. Now, I need to stop right here just a minute. And I need to tell you about my biscuit pan. This is my biscuit pan. You don't have to use this. You can just use like a 10-inch cast iron skillet. It works just great. Now, you might can see the shininess on this skillet. That's a little oil I've got in there. It's just a little oil to stop biscuits from sticking any, which they don't stick bad in this pan anyway. But I'm going to put this over here in my toaster oven. I love my toaster oven. It's a Hamilton Beach Easy Reach. It's called an Easy Reach because the lid doesn't pull down. It raises up out of your way. I love that. Now I'm going to slide this in here and I'm going to preheat this oil. So I'm going to put this on my stay mode and on bake. Got it on my lower rack. And I'm going to preheat that skillet. Now the reason, I should have already had it on actually, but the reason you preheat that skillet is so that when I take it out, I can drop a pat of butter in each little indentation and it'll melt pretty, and then I'll put my biscuit down in it. And because these are butter biscuits, and that's the way we want to do it. Now I have my batter is just a little bit thin, and I hope this ain't gonna confuse some of y'all, but I'm gonna I might have a little bit too much buttermilk in my cup. You know, you can take it above that line a little bit. So I'm sprinkling about a 1/4 cup more of flour in here. And I'm going to stir that up. Yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. I told you I don't use measuring, so I was trying to do it for y'all, and I probably just got a little bit too much buttermilk. Okay, now, that's looking good, and that's real soft, and you're thinking you're going to get that all over your hands. Well, I got another plan. See, what I do, I got this big wide bowl, as you can see. It's a old, what do you call it? Texas ware type of bowl. And I love it. I love it, love it. Now I'm going to take a 1/3 cup more of flour. And I'm going to put that over here on this side of the bowl that's got nothing in it, where I've raked my dough over here to one side. And let me see how this pan's preheating here. Let's see. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this pan finish preheating. I'm going to pause you just a minute, and I'll be right back when this pan gets preheated. Be right back. Hey, I'm back, and my pan is preheated. I'm going to walk over here and get it out right now. I don't know if I told you guys, my little dog is hollering. I'm going to have to get her taken out of my room here. Okay, now, my little dog, you know I told you how much I love my Easy Reach oven. Well, my little dog doesn't like it. I don't know what it is about it, but I've done so much toast in it. It's a great little toaster oven. And when you're toasting, it ticks to let you know that it's working, I guess. But anyway, it ticks and ticks down. Well, she hates that ticking, so she gets started. It's gotten to the point where every time I get out a loaf of bread to make toast, she starts doing it before I've even turned it on. But anyway, so if she makes any noise, I'm sorry, just ignore her. Now, I've preheated this in my little oven, and I don't know if you can see this. I'm dropping these pats of butter in, and they are just sizzling. And so it's melting right away, so this is going to work out real good. Now, my biscuit dough, is just soft and just real soft dough. So what I'm going to do is pick up a spoonful about like that. It's, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a little bit. You can see it ain't a big amount. And I'm going to just turn that spoon over in that pile of flour I put there. And then I'm going to put it on my hand. I'm going to rake the rest off. And then I'm going to put a little more flour on it and toss it around in my hand. And you can feel the wetness of it. What you want to just dip it in that flour until you can do this with it and it doesn't stick in your hand. Okay? And then you're just going to pat it out. Now see what a pretty little biscuit that is? And I'm going to put it right here in one of my little indentations, and it does just fine. Now, I'm going to get another one, rake it off into the flour, toss it around a little bit in the flour, then pick it up. My husband's standing here watching me do this. He's my cameraman. You probably saw his finger on the in the thing a while ago. We don't have any fancy camera equipment. This is just an iPad, and it don't have a pause, so this is going to be 2 or 3 videos. But anyway, I got another biscuit made out, and I just pop it over here. Then do the next one. See how easy this is? And you can get all fretful about it and think it requires a whole bunch of magic. You know, I think a lot of us want to think the olden days cook did produce biscuits by magic because they were so doggone good. Everybody loved them and raved on people's biscuits, and I don't think we wanted people to know they were so easy to fix. But anyway, we're going to get these made up. I'm showing you how to do it, and if you're a new cook, it just ain't no big deal, and your husband will love you for it. Any company you have will love you for it. Then you can add a little tomato gravy. Actually, that tomato gravy is what brought this about right here. Yesterday, we eat our supper early, usually 4 or 5 o'clock. Try not to eat but one big meal a day. And we had some strickling. I know y'all know what that is. That's some kind of good. And rutabagas that I had made. And a few mashed potatoes. And cornbread. And we made tomato gravy. In our strickling gravy, when we got through, we made tomato gravy. Well, it makes a bunch. So we had some left over, and my husband's Jack. He said, I want tomato gravy tomorrow. So that's what brought about these biscuits. So because my best friend Shirley loves these videos, I said, let's video this. I can make it fun. She'll love it. She'll just eat it up. So that's what we're doing. Now, that was my last biscuit. I got just a tad of dough left. Not enough to worry about. Now, I'm going to rinse my hands off before I put these biscuits in the oven. I don't know if I told you or not, but I preheated that oven to 450. And so we're going to slide these in there, and in about 25 minutes, now this is what they look like right here. Now, in about 25 minutes, we're going to have us some pretty biscuits. So, I'm going to pause you right now, or I'm going to stop it, and we'll start another one when I get back. Be right back. Hey, it's Trish, and I'm back with a dish, and it's biscuits. And I'm about to take my biscuits out. They've been in the toaster oven for 25 minutes, and there's my timer. Time is up, and they are ready. So, here they are. Look how pretty. Pretty biscuits. Now, something I did not tell y'all a while ago that makes these biscuits special, or that makes me like them. I love a biscuit with a crunchy edge. And see how they don't stick? See how nice that is? Now, I'm taking them out of here because if they sit in this pan, they're going to sweat, and that's going to make the bottom soft. And I like a crunchy biscuit. So, I am taking these out and putting them right here on my thing. I want y'all to be able to see it, so I'm going to move it around a little bit. Now, about the crunchiness now. I love a crunchy biscuit on the outside and nice and moist and soft on the inside. And that's one reason I use this biscuit pan instead of the cast iron skillet. Now, if I'm in the right mood, I'll use that 10-inch black cast iron skillet. It's about that deep, and I'll do it the same way. Only I'll just drop my whole, almost a quarter stick of butter. No, half a stick of butter, quarter cup in the cast iron 10-inch, and let it melt and just pat them all out around like your mama used to do. Now, my mama used to make them on a little baker pan, almost like a little pizza pan kind of thing. But I can't do that with this because, like I said, they're butter, and I have all that butter in the pan, and it would run out or whatever on a sheet. So this works real well. Now, these are hot as a firecracker, but I'm going to break them open and let you see how tender and flaky they are. Now, you want them tender and flaky because that's just a better biscuit. If you put too much flour in, then you're going to wind up with a dense biscuit. And now let me put it this way. I've never heard a man complain about many bad biscuits. You mix flour and buttermilk and your leavening and your salt, and it's hard to come up with a bad taste. It's just texture and whatever you like. But I like a nice, flaky, soft biscuit on the interior. Now, let me see if I've left out anything else. No, just eat them and enjoy. Good to see you today. See you next time.